Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Twisted Stitcher podcast. Today is Thursday, January 15th, and this is episode 10. Thanks so much for stopping by again. I'm glad you guys are back. How are things in your neck of the woods? Everything's good here. It's pretty cold today. It's actually snowing outside right now, so that's kind of exciting. I hope to finish up this recording and go and snuggle up on the sofa with a nice cup of hot chocolate and my knitting and just enjoy a nice relaxing evening here at home. I hope you guys are able to do the same. If you're somewhere a little bit farther south than me, maybe in a warmer climate in Florida or Texas or California, I hope you guys are enjoying the nice, warm, sunny weather there. Some days I wish and long that I were in warmer weather, but then I remember how much I love my mountains here in North Carolina and how hard it would be to leave. So we're all blessed in different ways, right? So I hope you guys are enjoying winter and are having some time to knit and get some fiber crafting done. So I guess let's just jump right into it today. First, I will say you'll notice that my surroundings are a little bit different yet again. I've been moving some things around with the studio progress downstairs, and I'm so happy now to have my stash out and about and accessible. The boyfriend helped me build my IKEA cube shelf the other day, and I was able to go through all my stash and at least get it on the shelf. I did have some time to go through it and pull some things out for destash. It's not organized yet. It's just all kind of piled in there, but that's the next step, is to actually go through and organize it, really kind of take inventory of what I've got, get it all updated in Ravelry, and enjoy working from my stash. So if you guys haven't had some time to dig through your stash lately, I highly recommend it. You'll find some treasures that you totally forgot that you had. On these top 8 cubes is all yarn with some weaving yarn. And then on the bottom 8 cubes is all spinning fiber. And I'm actually thinking that I've got more fiber than I do yarn. So I'll be really excited once I have some time to update Ravelry and see exactly what I've got stash-wise. So it was really nice to kind of ring in the new year with some organization and really kind of seeing what I've got in the stash. So let's just jump right into the knitting. I have been working on a couple of things. If you guys remember last time I talked about starting my sweater, I had planned to start the Harvest sweater, which is a Tin Can Knits pattern. It's a free pattern. It's part of their Simple collection, which is sort of their Learn to Knit series. And they're right, it is simple. I did get a good start on it. I started the collar, and this is what I've got so far. So not very far. I'm actually a little bit frustrated right now because I realized I made a mistake on one of the edges about here, about 10 rows back. So I've got to tink back and fix that mistake, and then I can get back cranking on it. Now that I'm in the pattern, it actually does look very easy, and I'm excited to really move forward with it and get it done. I'm knitting this out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes Superwash in the Garnet Heather colorway. And I'm using my ChalGoo needles, my favorite needles in the whole wide world. If you haven't tried ChalGoos, definitely go out and get yourself a pair and give them a try. I'm a big, big fan of the ChalGoo needles. So this is sort of how it's knitting up. The collar, and it goes all the way down the front, is like a garter pattern. And then it also goes around the cuffs and the band at the bottom. So it's going pretty good. I am really enjoying working out of the new bag that I made. I really do like the new style opening. It actually lets my yarn glide in and out really easily with no trouble. So I'm really, really enjoying this new style, and I think I might make some more of them at some point. So that again is my Harvest sweater by Tin Can Knits, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I did cast on a new project. With it being winter here in Western North Carolina and it being a little chilly, my boyfriend likes to wear like beanies, toboggans, all the time. And we went shopping for new toboggans, and they're very, very, very expensive. He picked one out from the North Face that he really liked, and it was $30, maybe $35 for one toboggan. And we said, let's hold off on that. Let me knit you a couple and see what you think of them. So I cast on another Barley Hat, just because this is such a simple pattern. I've got it memorized now, so it's very, very easy. I'm also using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. This is not superwash, just the regular wool of the Andes. This is the Shire Heather colorway, so it's a really pretty, really earthy green. It's got some flecks of sort of a lighter turquoise and a little bit of brown in it. And this is where I'm at. So I've finished the ribbing, and I'm maybe 7 or 8 rows into the body of the hat. But this goes really, really quickly. I'll probably have it done in the next couple of days. This also is on Chagu needles, and I actually bought myself a new purse. I wanted a new purse that I had room to fit some knitting into. And for such a small project, I found that this little pouch actually works perfectly. This also is from Rainstorm Studios. This matches my other project bag that I have, but it's great. I can just throw this small project in here, and it zips right up. And it fits right into my bag. It doesn't take up much room at all. And then I've got knitting with me wherever I go. So for all you guys that swear by having knitting all the time, I really see why you say that now. So nice little tiny project bag. It's actually one of her Notions pouches. But for such a small project, I think it works perfectly. And I can just toss it right into my bag. So look forward to seeing that done in the next couple of episodes. And we'll see what he thinks about it. I'm thinking of lining it with like polar fleece or something like that because he's a little bit funny about fuzzy textures. So we'll see how that goes. That again is the Barley Hat. That's also by Tin Can Knits, and it's a free Ravelry download. So you can go out to Ravelry and check that pattern out. I have been doing some spinning. I'm so glad to be back to my wheels. It's been way, way, way too long. I got inspired by Instagram, the hashtag spin15and15, and no, it's not 15 pounds in 2015, but 15 minutes a day in 2015. I'm so proud. I did so good for the first few days. About the first week, I really rocked it out. Every day, I did at least 15 minutes. Most days, I was getting in like 30 to 45 minutes a day. And then life just got way too busy again, and I kind of had to put it back on the back burner. But let me show you what I got done. On my Hanson mini spinner, with their great big huge jumbo bobbins, I am spinning some wool gatherings. This is 75% BFL, 25% Tussis silk. It's 4 ounces. They don't give their colorways names, but they do give them like dye lots or colors. I did take this one out of the braid just to make it a little bit easier to work with, but it's so gorgeous. It's all of my favorite colors. It's purples, some that lean a little bit more blue, and then some that lean a little bit more eggplant. There's some blues in there, some really, really pretty turquoises and aquas. So I can't wait to see how this turns out once I'm done spinning it. I will most likely with this, it's spinning pretty fine, and I'd like to keep the color repeats separate, so I'll most likely Navajo ply it. That is my preferred plying structure, just because I do really like the nice roundness that you get with the finished yarn. So hopefully look for that to be finished in the next couple episodes. This is what their tag looks like. Wool gatherings. So go check them out too. And that again is on my Hanson mini spinner. I do also have some spinning going on my Majacraft Rose. This one's, it's getting there. So not too bad. This is from the Copper Corgi Fiber Studio. They're based out of Savannah, Georgia. This is Merino Bamboo Blend, and it's also 4 ounces. This colorway is really pretty. I don't usually go for so many colors in a braid, but this just really spoke to me. I picked this up at SAF, and you'll see there's a little bit of everything in there. There's greens and purples and oranges, blacks, some like different shades of green. It's a really, really, really pretty braid. It's got some silvery colors and then even like some more grapey purples. I just finished up a really pretty kind of purpley pink color on my bobbin. So I'm very, very excited to see how this turns out. And just like the other, I will most likely, since it is spinning fine, I will most likely Navajo ply it to keep those color repeats together. I've never spun merino bamboo before, and it is pretty slick. So I'm having to really kind of micromanage the spinning. I use a woolly winder on both of my wheels, and sometimes it does have just a little bit too much grab, a little too much tension. So I really have to watch my spinning and kind of stay focused on it. So I may start something new, just something kind of quick and just sort of a palette cleanser that I can spin up and have a finished skein. So if you're a spinner, I definitely challenge you to go check out the Spin 15 in 15 hashtag on Instagram. There are some different prizes available with that. I can't remember right off who started that hashtag, but definitely go check it out. It's a nice, easy way to challenge yourself, and 15 minutes a day I think is pretty well doable. If not every day, most days. A lot of folks can get that done. So take some time and get back to your wheels. It's lots and lots of fun. I don't have anything finished this week, but in the next couple of weeks I do plan to have some new finished things to show you. I did want to talk this episode about spindles. A lot of you guys, I've noticed, are sort of interested in spinning, but maybe you're not a spinner yet. So I did want to show you guys some different types of spindles from my collection and sort of talk about the differences of each one. So the first type of spindle is a top whirl, that's WHORL, drop spindle. The way this works is it's got the whirl, the bulkier part here at the top. Most all of them have a hook at the top to secure your yarn on and to start it on. And then the shaft varies in different lengths. Some of them have a notch in the side to let your yarn, your single, glide through, and some of them don't. Personally, I prefer the spindles with the notch, but it's almost a preference thing. They do come in different sizes and weights. So for this particular spindle, I actually have a set of 3. These are from Bosworth. These are Bosworth spindles. This is the Bosworth Mini. It's not their smallest, it's their second to smallest spindle. And then this is the Midi, M-I-D-I, their medium size. And then this is their maxi size. This would be really good for plying. This particular spindle is quite heavy, so it would be a little bit difficult to spin fine singles on it. But it is nice because it does have a longer shaft, so you could fit a little bit more on there. And each of them are different weights, going from lightest to heaviest. The Bosworth spindles range in price from, let's see, $48 for the smallest up to $68 for the largest in their standard woods. They do have specialty woods available too. You can check out their website for more information. Another type of spindle is it's technically a bottom whirl spindle, but it's a Turkish spindle. And this is a really, really cool spindle. Unfortunately, I don't spin on my Turkish really as much as I should. This particular spindle is made by Valkyrie spindles, the same folks that make Valkyrie hand combs for fiber prep. And the way this type of spindle works is you leave the arms in the down position like this, and you spin your yarn, and then you wrap the single around the little arms, and that's where your yarn gets stored. A lot of folks call it a turtle because it looks like a little turtle shell once you have, your singles on there and then its little arms sticking out. The coolest part about Turkish spindles is that once you have the spindle full, you can actually take the shaft off, leaving the yarn on the little arms, and then the arms come out, and then you're left with a ball of yarn, which is actually a center pull ball of yarn. So if you're ready to ply, or you could even knit with it straight away that way. So that's a really, really cool design and a neat feature of Turkish spindles. These also come in different sizes. This one is rather large for a Turkish spindle. They do come much smaller. Another cool thing that I keep seeing pop up on Instagram is there's a new company that makes 3D printed Turkish spindles. So I'd really like to get my hands on one of those. If anybody has one of those, I'd love to hear your feedback. I know Michelle's Fibers just ordered one, and I'm really excited to take it for a spin. So definitely check those out. That again is a Turkish spindle. One other style of spindle is called a support spindle. This particular one is a Russian support spindle. This one is from Tina's Angoras. She has an Etsy shop. Her spindles run in the $35 range. The way this works is you actually spin it on a surface. Oftentimes you'll have a small dish that you'll use for spinning. And you can spin it straight up and down or at an angle, but you sort of spin it and it supports in your hand, and then you wind your yarn here in this area. These spindles are also really, really great. I personally prefer drop spindles versus support spindles, but I like to have one in my arsenal just for when the whim strikes. For spindles, if you're a new, maybe someone wanting to try out spindle spinning for the first time, I do have a recommendation for my favorite beginner spindle. This is also a top whirl drop spindle. It does have a hook. This particular spindle is made by Green Sleeves. You can find their spindles on the Woolery's website. They're very, very well made. They're very nice spindles, and my favorite part is that they're very affordable. This is their smaller size called the Bare Bonesy. This particular spindle runs about $16. They do have one that's just a little bit bigger that's called just the Bonesy, and it also is $16. I would recommend to start with the larger spindle first, the Bonesy, because it is just a little bit heavier and it's gonna be a little easier to work with. This particular spindle is great for spinning nice fine yarns. This really has turned into one of my favorite go-to spindles. So this again is from Green Sleeves and it's called the Bare Bonesy. It runs about $16 from the Woolery. So definitely go out and grab yourself some fiber and a spindle and give it a try. While I was doing some stash digging, I actually came across my very first spun yarns, which were spun on a spindle. They were actually spun on a CD drop spindle, which I made myself. You just take a regular compact disc and a wooden dowel and basically affix the CD to the dowel, and you've got a spindle. Super, super simple, not complex at all. It will help you make yarn. I'm excited to show you guys my first little blips of hand spun. It's not pretty, but it is yarn nonetheless. So I think that this here is my first ever hand spun yarn. So this was, because I'm a crazy person, this was some merino silk. And I don't know if you guys can see, but it is huge. It's a 2-ply. It's super thick and thin. Now this would be some really cool art yarn. This is some of my other first hand spun. It also is gigantic. Same stuff, merino silk blend. But it is really pretty. This particular yarn, I didn't know anything about felting when I first got started, and I washed it just a little bit too much, so it got a little bit felty. But I think that's okay because it'll still work. I did find another skein of that, so these two match. And then I found these little bits, which are singles. They weren't plied at all, but they're still super thick. That's going to be like a bulky, super bulky weight yarn. What I'm thinking with all of these, because I do have a decent bit of it, is to combine it all into maybe a cowl and be a super nice, chunky, warm. It is very soft yarn and lofty yarn, but I'm thinking about maybe alternating the colors, maybe doing like stockinette with the purple and then garter with the darker blue color, and maybe do the edges in this green color. I don't know, but I think that would be a really cool project, and especially something to show off and showcase my very first hand spun. If you are a spinner and you still have your first hand spun, throw a picture up in this episode's thread. I'd love to see your first hand spun, and in that way for newbie spinners to see that you're not going to come out making lace weight in, your first few skeins of yarn, that you're going to get, you're going to get some thick, chunky stuff, but that it's still yarn and it's still totally usable. So maybe I'll cast this on soon. Maybe you guys will see this in the next couple episodes. Speaking of hand spun, also, If you remember a couple episodes back, I had made a Barley Hat out of some Pagewood Farms pencil roving. I actually gifted that Barley Hat to Michelle for Christmas, and I was a little bit bummed because I really, really did like that hat, and I wanted one for myself, but I didn't think I was going to have enough yarn. I only had about 40 grams left, and it took about 55 to make her hat. So this is what I had left, and it's a 2-ply. And when I was organizing the stash, I actually came across this little ball, which is the same stuff, Pagewood Farms pencil roving, but this is a Navajo ply. And it's, I think I weighed it, and I think it's like 18 or 20 grams. So between the two, that'll definitely be enough to make myself a hat. What I think I'm going to do is do the brim, the ribbing section out of the Navajo ply, and then do the body section out of this part, and just really knit with each one until I run out. So that way it uses every little bit of the handspun. So I was really, really happy to find that in my stash. It was sort of long forgotten. So another good reason to look through stash often. Let's see. Moving right along. I did want to give you guys an update on Kickstarter progress. Everything's going very, very well. We're sort of in the home stretch now. I've got a couple weeks left. We are on track. I am on track right now to have everything finished by February 1st. So that's going to be the first wave of rewards. Everybody that bought the limited edition Perfect Pair project bag sets, everybody that pledged for single skeins of yarn and single braids of fiber. The second wave, which is everyone that pledged towards the surprise Perfect Pair project bag sets, those are still going to be fulfilled closer to April. So kind of keep your eyes out on Instagram and here to the podcast for more updates about that. So you will start seeing some packages go out probably around mid-February. You'll start receiving them in the mail. So I hope you guys are excited. I'm really excited for you guys to get everything. It's been so fun dyeing up big batches of all the Perfect Pair yarn. It's been a lot of fun. It's great to get back to the dye pots and do what I really, really enjoy and love. I've also been doing some sewing. We're almost done with all of the bags. I'm so glad to be near completion. So thank you guys for hanging with me and for all your continued support with that. I do plan to launch the Etsy shop somewhere in mid-March. I have a vending opportunity at the end of February that I need to get some things dyed up for. And then whatever doesn't sell there, plus the additional things that I'm planning to dye for the shop, I'll be launching the shop in mid-March. So for everyone that gets their Kickstarter projects, make sure and keep an eye out for the shop grand opening. You'll be getting something special in with your Kickstarter packages. So just kind of keep your eyes and ears peeled. Everything else has been going really good. Classes started back on Monday. Things have been busy since then. I do have more classes on campus this semester versus just online. So I am finding that my days feel a little bit shorter because I am having to commute and spend time sitting in class versus just being able to do everything at home. So it's taking a little bit of adjusting. I do find, though, that having on-campus classes has been very beneficial so far because I have been able to talk more about the Student Business Incubator program at my college and about my business in general. It's really interesting. Every time I talk about it, it seems like in every one of my classes, there's a knitter there. So knitters really are everywhere. They're hanging out in the shadows, but they are out there. So it's been good, especially to tell other students about the incubator program because so many folks don't know about it. And I want to see the program be successful. I want to really see it thrive. And I definitely don't want to see it be discontinued because without that program, I wouldn't have been able to start my business. If you know someone that's a college student and maybe they are thinking about starting their own business one day, urge them to check into the different services that their college offers. Oftentimes, most community colleges especially offer, some sort of small business center or business resource office, something like that, to help their community. even if you're not a student and you're a small business owner, there's a wealth of resources out there for you to help your business really be successful. And it's important to take advantage of those resources, or else they go away. It looks like people don't need them, people don't want them, and funding eventually ceases to be. So we don't want to see that. So thanks, guys, for hanging in there with me. Things may be a little bit scattered over the next few months. I have mapped out all my homework for the semester, and it's a heavy class load this time. But all in all, it's going pretty good. I'm very optimistic. It still looks like I'm on track to graduate in May, so I should be, I have to go order cap and gown in March and buy my diploma in March. So it's pretty crazy to realize that it's coming up so soon. But I'm very excited to be nearing the end of my college journey, and then I can focus on Twist Fiber Studio full time. So we do have a couple of announcements. Don't forget about the Twisted Stitcher Podcast Sweater Knit Along. Any adult size sweater counts. It needs to have been started on or after January 1st. The knit along ends on April 30th. There are going to be some prizes available. For every 10 completed sweaters that are posted in the, the actual contest thread, I'm going to add a new prize. The first prize is for a sweater size project bag from Twist Fiber Studio. And then after that, you never know. It might be stitch markers, it might be yarn, it might be spinning fiber for spinners. Lots of fun prizes available with this knit along. So make sure and dive on over into the chatter thread. There's already some folks sharing their projects. I know a couple of folks are working on the Hitofude cardigan. It's a beautiful cardigan. I'm really excited to see you guys' progress. If you run into issues with your sweaters or just want to share your progress, definitely hop on over into the chatter thread. I'd love to see what you guys are working on. And definitely don't forget to tell your friends that we're having the knit along. We're also doing the Countdown to 100 Members giveaway. We're at 91 members as of today, so we're getting really, really close. Once we reach 100 members, I will be giving away a pattern. Any pattern of your choice, as long as it's giftable on Ravelry, up to $6. I'll do this too every time that we reach the next 100 member mark. So once we get to 200 members, 300 members, 400 members, and so on, I'll give away another pattern. So that's a great incentive for you guys to join the group and also tell your friends about our Ravelry group. You can find the group on Ravelry by searching for the Twisted Stitcher Podcast, and just go on there and click Join Group. It's that easy. We do also have January's contest going this month. It is for this really cute drawstring project bag. This contest runs through the end of January. All you have to do to be entered to win is go into the Ravelry group and find the January contest thread and tell me what your goals for 2015 are. I've been reading everyone's goals, and you guys are all, you've got some really, really good goals. You've got some great fiber-related goals, knitting goals, and personal goals. So hopefully we can all be each other's cheerleaders this year and really push each other to reach our goals. That's all you have to do to be entered to win. You do need to be a member of the group, and please only just post once in the contest thread. It makes it a whole lot easier for me to draw the winner. So that's going to run through January 31st, and I will draw the winner on the February 1st episode. So I think that about wraps it up today. I thank you guys all again for joining me for another episode. I hope that you guys have a really great couple of weeks and that you're really enjoying your new year. Make sure and check out the podcast. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/twistedstitcher1 or on the blog at twistedstitcherpodcast.wordpress.com. Make sure and go and join the Ravelry group by searching for the Twisted Stitcher Podcast. And you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Carolina Spinner. So thanks again so much for joining us, and I'll see you guys all in a couple of weeks. Thanks. Bye.